to fend off naked children.
All right, here we go. We're live. I think that what Rad said will get caught on the video, so that's how life works. Welcome to Season 4, Episode 21, Rectifier. Now look, I'm going to say two things. One, I feel that I properly explained last week about how canon my decision was going forward to have really, really weird shit show up. But it was canon. No one has questioned it, but just to double down on it, I would like to read you an excerpt from the Mech Commander Gold Tactical Interface User Guide. Page 15. We are rapidly confirming pre-landing intelligence reports that the Jaguars have impressed local militia into service as bondsmen and equipped them with capture intersphere technology. Do not hesitate when dealing with bondsman opponents. Jaguar indoctrination is too effective, and we do not expect to see many bondsman defectors. Friends, I know that the video games aren't canon, but for me, Mech Commander Gold is, with Mechwarrior 2 Mercenaries Titanium Edition, the two solidest Mechwarrior releases. HBS Battletech is like a distant third place for that. I know somebody's gonna come up in here and be like, Mechwarrior 4 Mercenaries, and I'm gonna be like, I only like a little played that one, and you know, I really only like the clan mechs because they had the omnipods. So I just like clan mechs. I think clan mechs are better in every way. You know who agrees with me? Pondo does. That feels like a really good. I was gonna say this feels like a really good segue into an introduction sequence, but I'm not doing an introduction sequence. Going back to Raddosaurus rules. Last week was a fluke. Therefore, I don't have any announcements. I did have a Pondo-based joke intro that I was prepared to do, but I decided to skip it because I already took a shot at Pondo last week, and I felt like maybe that would be a bridge too far. So what we get is the Butch McGurk-esque face of Commander Starleague wearing his Marek Purple Eagle hood mask thing, Captain America style. And he's holding the shield shaped like the Starleague Cameron Star icon, and he says, "That's right, Menace! You're going to tell us everything we want to know." And the next panel is Star Captain Menace strapped to an interrogation chair, and he goes, "Ha ha ha ha! Commander Starleague, you'll never break me!" And then the next panel is him looking around suspiciously, and he says, "Our plan all along was to create a massacre using nuclear weapons." And then the next panel is, "And then we would blame you for it! Ah ha 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 ha!" And then the character that looks like Maximilian Harridan, our Lyran Alliance techno-barbarian noble, walks into the frame and goes, "I've had this, you know, done to me before. I've been accused of such things." Someone puts a hand on his back, and the next panel, like, "Oh, well, you know, like, oh, sorry that happened to you, man." But then he turns and he points and he says, "But she caused the Kentari's massacre! Her people are murderers!" And as, like, all of the different factions of the Star League and their representative warriors are all arguing with each other, Commander Starleague rises up and stands before Menace and says, "I've seen through your plan, Menace. This was it! You want to get us fighting among ourselves! Well, too bad for you that the Star League stands above such petty squabbles. We stand for humanity!" And, you know, the comic book closes as somebody's like, "Miss Chia, are you sure this isn't too hammy? I mean, it feels very on point for what's happening right now." She's just like, "No, it's perfect. Get issue 4 out immediately." Then she, like, turns and looks up and says, "Why is there an orange air raid warning going off in our aerospace hangar?" And we cut back to the scene in motion right now, which is the four of you plus your good best friend. I mean, how much more best friendy can you get than a man called Commandant Blake Marsden, Baron of Coventry? wearing, I think all of you are wearing some form of clan uniforms or outfits. You've also got a prisoner. Sorry, he's not a prisoner. He's a bondsman now. Who you're definitely, absolutely not going to kill, correct? Like, we're all in agreement that you're not going to kill that guy.
See, now, normally when I say that I'm not going to kill someone, it's usually a pretty sure bet that, yeah, that guy's absolutely going to die. However,
I've been on shows with you before. I know how this works.
However, Black Rabbit did expressly place us under orders that we're not to kill this guy, so I can't kill him.
As you know,
otherwise, yeah, he'd be super dead.
In the game of rock, paper, scissors, Sergeant does beat Colonel, so...
In all matters tactical, this is true.
Rad is over here like, Staff Sergeant, maybe.
I'm just waiting for McGurk for this guy to upset McGurk, and then he just offs him.
With a smoke grenade in a sealed interrogation.
Shove a tear gas grenade down his throat and pull the pin.
Yeah, whatever happened to Hitman anyway. So the six of you are on the top floor of the Smoke Jaguar science facility inside of the Planetary Command Center compound. Two of you have noticed that there is something coming out of the sun, Ride of the Valkyrie style. There are several Clan aerospace fighter, technically Omni fighter aircraft, dropping a load of bombs, which are separating from them, and then really you can't even see the bombs. What you see is the huge rocket flare coming behind them as they begin to drill their way down directly towards the Planetary Command Center building. Men and women are leaving the Planetary Command Center, running out the front door, across the street to the subterranean mech bunker. It's like split, you know, it's like a downhill. You can see into the top level of it, but then there's like more levels where you can take like an aircraft carrier, where you could like bring a lance of mechs that's way, well, a star of mechs that's way down there up. Now I've kind of drawn this thing out. I want to give the audience a chance to take a look at it. Wow, I forgot to preload that, and it loaded pretty quickly. So you are currently in Area 1 over here, the Evil Science Laboratory. You're right next door to Area 2, Planetary Command Center, which is about 30 seconds away from getting hit with a massive wave of explosions. Area 3, which is, let's call it several dozen meters away, is the recessed mech bunker where you can see pilots are running towards their mechs and techs are preparing the mechs, but it's going to be several minutes before those mechs are ready to roll. Area 4 is the interior wall blocking off the Super Smoke Jaguar science project from murdering everyone everywhere. And Area 5 is the exterior wall leading south towards the capital. That wall has a large number of weapon turrets currently.
We're standing in 2.
You are standing in 1. You're standing on the top floor executive office, 360 panorama, glass view, 100% not shielded from bombs.
I mean, first thing first, I'd just like to make a quick call to the base saying, hey, get back on guard. Do not stand down anymore. Encrypted line.
If they actually stood down, I will be very, very pissed.
I mean, you ordered them to stand down and you authenticated and confirmed it with them. So when you call back, Major Gray, Haller is just like, understood. We are unstanding down now. What do you need?
Can you have the Russians lob some long toms at the wall of the city?
The wall of the Planetary Command Center or the city? One of those is a war crime, but we've been here and done that before, so...
It's not a good thing that
you're... do we care about that?
The wall of, not the interior city, the wall of, with the Starlink's wall.
I understand, sir.
We haven't had a chance to place the homing beacon yet, though.
I will call in the order. They should be close within several hundred meters.
Why are we trying to blow up the wall?
Exit.
There's not like doors in the wall?
Just to be clear, in the next 5 seconds, those bombs are going to hit the command center and explode, and you are all still standing on the top floor.
I'm sprinting away from the estimated point of impact.
This would be on the run, essentially.
I would like to run for cover. That'd be nice.
Okay.
Now, is there a stairwell? Because I don't want to take an elevator when there's a shit ton of bombs going on.
Is there a claw-footed cast iron bathtub I can jump into?
Okay. But there is a 1960s style lead-lined refrigerator.
I was about to say
I'm in it to win it.
It's you open it up and it's all filled with Inner Sphere beers.
Oh,
I got a couple of beers.
You ripped them all out, but you grab one before it can break. Close the door while sipping on it.
There's like a slow-mo scene where the hand just closes around a cannon and then it snakes in.
I'm gonna push it over to where it's laying long ways on the ground and dive behind it and kind of signal for everybody else to like huddle up behind this refrigerator.
All right, I was joking about the existence of this thing, but we've now canonized it. So
yeah, it's in there.
Thanks, Indiana Jones.
And then the explosions happen, and the camera is entirely obscured by dust and debris, and you just hear the sound of like a beer can opening.
When you can see again, which takes a little while because the impact causes your eyes to go inwardly, the massive air pressure change, you can see that your scientist cast friend was not quite as fast as 5 trained warriors and intelligence operatives, and he's got a massive glass shard about 2 inches wide through his right arm, and he's just looking at it going, but you can't hear anything.
Right.
I noticed that I
think Bandito motions the guy
on his shoulder like, and then pointed his arm.
Yeah, I think Bandito also looks at the guy mouthing, do you want me to saw it off?
Yeah, he's like,
he's just going like
motions with the arm.
You want it here? You want it here? Or you want it here?
I'm gonna assume Black Rabbit is like on it. She's like got her med pack out or whatever.
Why don't you make a roll for this? I mean, this sounds like a medtech roll.
I will roll a medtech roll. I should have.
You don't want me to roll for you because my roll would be cutting the arm off.
Yeah, listen, I gotta tell you, you don't need medtech to understand that removing his arm right now is not necessary.
Well, but if you fail the roll, you're like, I attempt to amputate his arm. You amputate his head.
You have a 13? Okay, yeah. You pull out a field dressing kit or something. You have a surgical kit on you, right?
I have a field surgical kit.
Yes.
And a basic med kit too.
All right, so look. I'm going to tell you what I believe happens. This may not be what actually happens. You do the correct thing, and I'm sure that YouTube comment section will be like, no, Arthur. Just a reminder, I was a Boy Scout, but that was 20 years ago. Now, I assume you prepare the area, you remove the sliver, and then you, like, get the wound cleaned out and bandaged up. But if that's not the procedure that an intelligent person should take for battlefield triage, please, chat, let me know. Whatever that procedure is what Sergeant Lockwood does. And just a reminder, battlefield triage is not the same thing as first aid.
It's very true. Rub some dirt on it, drink some water, walk it off.
They're more concerned about getting you back to the base alive than they are on making sure your arm is still attached.
That's right. Take a drink, take a knee, drink some water. You'll be fine.
Hand him a beer.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're in the Marine Corps, pop open that emergency box of crayons.
Yeah. Oh man, the crayons. I never really get the yeet crayons thing, but it's everywhere. And it's so funny.
Yeah. It's because it's true. Any Marine will tell you. They survive off of Red Bull and Crayola brand crayons.
Marines watching this on YouTube, please let us know down in the comments.
Yeah, confirm. We know it's true.
At least they have the good crayons. Crayons are nice.
That's right. Nothing but the finest for our men in uniform. Men and women in uniform.
The only meme that I've heard more than Marines and crayons is new Army privates and
window
big
lickers.
Ford trucks.
Oh, we call them window lickers.
They all have a big Ford truck they definitely can't afford.
Well, that or like a Camaro or a Mustang.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah. Every single new private in the Army, I guess.
Oh yeah, drive around on an Army base and look at all the cars that were bought with signing bonuses that will soon be repossessed.
I'm laughing, but I know
Or
it's
crashed.
true. Yeah.
Motorcycles, also lots of motorcycles.
Crashed, definitely, yes. Look, trust me, we have an Air Force base south of here, and there's some real shit that goes on down there.
The same thing happens in every branch, although I will say that airmen in the Air Force have slightly better taste in vehicles. Not a lot, but slightly better. You occasionally see some nice like Nissans or Hondas, or they're a little more prone to the rice rockets, as they are sometimes called.
So you can see south, but northeast west of you is a cloud of dust and debris. You're pretty sure the Planetary Command Center withstood that bombing to some extent, because of course it's not meant to explode under the weight of 4 aerospace fighters.
Sure.
But certainly anyone that was outside is probably dead right now.
I think that would be a good time to leave then.
When your hearing comes back, you hear Howler going, "Sir, this is Captain Crossroads. Can you hear me?"
Yes, I think.
We're getting air raid warnings. Are you under attack?
What?
Yeah, they're bombing themselves.
Do you require further assistance beyond artillery strike?
What?
No, stand by.
Are you sure we can get Yellow Jackets there in 10 minutes?
Yeah, they'll just get shot out of the sky.
Would they?
They are
I imagine
VTOLs with Gauss rifles.
By the time the Yellow Jackets got there, the mechs would be primed and ready. So, yeah.
Can I ask on the radio what's the estimated time?
What's the estimate? Yeah.
All right. So I think his name is Cormag. Let me double check. Yeah, Cormag. His call sign is Mogidmer. He cuts in and starts saying something, and one of the Yellow Jacket pilots. Yeah, one of the Yellow Jacket pilots cuts in Scottish Gaelic to say, "Na bede emne ort faui Colonel, say sid bui at our men black."
What about Men in Black?
Somebody's just like, "Sir, this is
what do water buoys have to do with anything?"
Sir, this is long shot. What the staff sergeant was trying to say is that we can be there in 10 minutes. We're actually in our craft right now, good to go.
Okay, let me put this to you, Arthur. I pontificated for an extended amount of time last session.
Yeah.
About how prepared I wanted to be with egress routes and pickup sites and all this.
Yes.
Can I have designated a relatively logical and safe rally point as like a LZ to be picked up at?
Yes.
That would be sensical that I can start
someplace
rattling off.
Between the city and the Planetary Command Center that's got some cover.
Right. Yeah, that they can come in like fast and low, under some reasonable level of detection, I guess. I'm sure there's, obviously they can be spotted, but all right. So I start rattling off coordinates for this LZ and start making preparations to basically pathfind the way out here to get everybody there.
Okay. As you're heading down the stairwell,
because we got to book it before these mechs get powered on.
The commandant begins moving towards the Hummer that you arrived in, and he screams, "Get in! It's time for the vehicle section!"
Is there
it's
a
like the last level of Halo when you're in the Warthog.
Yeah.
Is there a mounted turret?
No, there isn't a mounted turret. But the windows do come down, and you can fire guns out of them.
Okay.
All right.
I think probably there's no mounted turret, but there is probably a cutout in the ceiling where you.
There's a gunner's hatch.
Yeah, gunner's hatch.
There's not a. There's I don't know. I'm not trying to steal your thunder here, but there would be a turret. There just wouldn't be a weapon on it. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
The sunroof.
Yep.
I wish I had my autocannon.
Right.
So by the time you get in the vehicle, I want you to imagine there are people lying in the open screaming. They're not dead yet, but they have suffered fairly fatal wounds from being in the open during a bombing run. You can hear the Super Smoke Jaguars. They have been riled up by this attack, and they have all started... You can see their paws reaching the top of the wall that contains them, and they're all howling at the top of their Super Smoke Jaguar howling capacity. And that's when the artillery strike hits. It is not accurate. All over this base, there's just like drop fire artillery going off. The Ferrocrete ground is getting pockmarked everywhere. As soon as the artillery starts hitting, the commandant, like, maybe all of you aren't fully in the vehicle. Definitely, there's at least one person who is not buckled in when he floors the accelerator, and several seconds later, there's an explosion on the science building where he had parked. Occasionally
passing by the mech hangar.
Yes, so I'll get to that in just a second.
I would like to...
Occasionally, the turrets that are on the wall that you have kind of asked them to hit, you technically just said bomb the base, which is what they're doing.
I was wanting to bomb the wall at the turrets.
They're trying, but they're firing like an eighth of a planet away.
That's fair.
And they have no spotters and no accurate planetary maps.
Give me the beacon.
If we drive by the mech bay, I'd like to activate the binger to toss out beacon and toss out the window down there.
So the commandant, assume this is a video game. There are 2 arrows appearing before the vehicle. One is the escape as quickly as possible, and the other is drive by the mech bay and try to kill the pilots before you go. And he's like, "Which way do we go, sir? Sirs?"
Can you just softball underhand that beacon into that mech bay?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So
That's the general
vehicle
idea.
section. I want to know who's where in this vehicle before we move to the next part.
I feel like I'm
Took shock.
I feel like I'm probably in the turret.
All right.
I will give.
Do I have my Gauss rifle in this vehicle? It's a vehicle we've had this whole time, isn't
Yes.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
I imagine.
And I'm
I'll be right
definitely
behind the
taking
driver.
shots at what look like to be any scrambling clan warriors. So yeah, he hands.
There are plenty of them.
Harridan probably passes up the beacon, and I probably instantly know exactly what to do with it. And I want to toss it to, like, I don't know, a pile of ammo crates or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I do want to remind you that this is located underground, so it will take a while for the artillery fire to burn through the ground and then the armor of
That's
the mech.
fine.
Okay.
Well, I
as
mean,
long
if
as
it can at least collapse the exit tunnel for the mechs,
Yes, that
would
is
be good
possible.
enough too.
even if it catches 0 mechs, it will destroy this facility.
Correct.
That's what's important.
Then
Wait. We're going way too fast. Black Rabbit,
Okay.
where are you in the vehicle? I think, Harridan, you said you're like in the second row seating right-hand side? Okay.
Left hand.
Left-hand
Oh wait,
side.
no, they drive on the British style, so it would be right hand side, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't catch where anybody else was.
I got shotgun.
Turret is heavy
Turret's in the
7.
middle, standing up
Yep.
with McGurk's Crocs.
So you have a whole third row and cargo area, or you can sit on the left-hand side, second row. Pop your gun out a window.
I think she'll sit on the left-hand side, but I don't think she's popping a gun out a window right now.
You're like, I don't have any of the guns that I could kill
I
a
have
man in one shot
I
with.
have my grenade launcher if I didn't take it.
My apologies. You do have a gun you could kill a man in one shot with.
I can only do one.
So, I'm going to need a roll for you to chuck this bad boy. I think that it's projectile weapons, because projectile weapons specifically calls out thrown objects.
Weapons.
Now look, you're not gonna miss the mech bay, right?
Sure,
We're
sure.
not even talking a soccer net. It's like 12 soccer nets wide by like 5 soccer nets tall.
Right. It's trying to hit.
Yes,
the
you're
the
trying
soccer
to
field,
specifically
not
target.
Yeah.
You're trying to hit a specific net within
Right.
that net continuum.
Yeah.
I feel like we just did the most C-team shit we've ever done.
So I'm looking for what skill?
Projectile weapons.
Projectile
That's a
weapons.
reflex.
Okay, I don't have that, so it's just +3.
Yep. Hit me with your roll. Got some green dice here. We got plenty of dice here. We got Imperial Dark Green. Oh, that looks pretty good.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay, you are gonna hit near where you want it to go. It's not gonna like roll off anywhere. It's also not gonna be exact.
Burn an edge to reroll the 2.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay.
Super duper.
Okay. You took it from an 11 to a 10. In your defense, that was fairly improbable.
It's slightly less where you want it to be.
I mean, there was a 5 and 6 chance that you would do the same or better.
Yeah. Probability to be damned.
I played the numbers and I lost.
Yeah, you know, listen, I'm the house and I always lose. No, wait, I'm supposed to always win. Shit, I might be really bad at this, guys.
Not gonna take you gambling.
Hate you, 6-sided dice.
I am actually terrible at gambling because I show up and I go, I'm not going to gamble. I have taken a statistics course.
I'm bad at gambling because of my attention span.
Ah, I see. Are you all shooting anyone with your guns while you are passing by the area?
Yeah, any warrior that I see.
Yeah.
Okay, given that you're all on the right-hand side, except for Pondo.
I'd be on the left hand.
Yes, that's correct.
Well, I'm in the middle, but I can see 360.
You can face right. I would like both of you, Murder 6 and Heavy 7, to make attack rolls. I just want to know if you can kill one pilot.
Let me
Yep.
grab
Okay.
I'm gonna say yes.
I don't know what your total is, Rad, but with an 11 on the dice, the answer to that is yes. You see
17 is the total.
A woman, she looks like she's in her mid-20s. She's got a star on her collar, indicating she's a warrior of some renown. She's like running towards her mech, and you're like, all right, I got this lined up. And it takes you several shots because you're in a moving vehicle. She's running. There's distance and lighting conditions. But at some point, you don't actually physically hit her, but you hit something near her. And when your shell explodes, she's like, ah! And then she falls off the gantryway and hits the ground head first. There's a sick crack noise that you don't hear, but yeah, it's fairly bad. What do you got, Sid?
16.
What kind of weapon are you using?
The kind that does 4 damage.
Wow. That was not technically...
You described all of them.
So every weapon.
Wow.
Except for machine guns.
It's a handgun.
Okay.
Yeah, except for support weapons, which only do 3.
Yeah.
I got him.
Having a running joke.
I just love the idea that he's shooting with a handgun. It deals more damage than a 50 cal underslung machine gun.
Yeah.
that an elemental is using to gun people down with. Yeah, like you get that perfect moment, right? Like you've got the gun and you're trying to get those tritium, is that what it's called? You got the triple night sight, slightly greenish looking. Your vision keeps going in and out of focus, and then you get that one perfect moment when the vehicle is in a straight line. The person that you're shooting has to stop to open the hatch on their mech bay. You fire, and you just see the person reach up to their shoulder and then look down and then collapse in a heap. And someone runs up and is like shaking them, but you're pretty sure you just shot this guy in the heart. You think you may never get a better shot than a 16.
If someone runs up to them and stops to check on them, I shoot them too.
Okay, yes, well, you got a 16, so sure. At that point, the vehicle swings away, and I think probably like 2 tires lift up off the ground in the process. As, you know, it's like a huge vehicle doing a sudden like hairpin turn. And begins moving away. And at that point, the second wave of artillery homing in on the beacon, this fire is significantly more accurate now that it's got a thing to home in on. It's just hitting in a circle, like the top of this subterranean facility that's covered in earth and the front entrance, but anything going in and out is going to get nailed by the artillery, basically. It's actually difficult to see inside the mech bay now with all of the smoke and dust and everything is pockmarked. The commandant is like yelling at you, and none of you can hear him, and he switches to the like internal encrypted and comm sets that you guys are using, and he's still shouting very loudly in your ear now, going, "Where do we go now?"
We leave.
The door isn't open.
Anyway, our scientist guy is still with us, right?
Yes.
Fucking open the door, guy.
So I mean, he's in the like cargo area, lying on the ground, clutching his right arm, and he goes, "What?
How do we open the door?"
He goes, "I just drive up to the gate, and I'll flash my clearance."
I pass that on. Drive up to the gate. And
Okay,
I want to take the clearance from him, right? So that I can like just lean out the fucking side and.
I want to do some Chinese fire drills, and as we stop to open the gate, and just jump into the cargo.
So you're going into the cargo area now.
Yes.
All right, the two of you can definitely lay back there. I want to say that he's very fussy and whiny when you get back there too. He's just like, "I guess I haven't been shot, but I was like stabbed, perforated."
You might want to be quiet before I do make sure you get shot.
Should my arm feel this tingly? Is that normal? I'm cold. Am I dying?
Probably.
Am I dying? Okay.
Knock him out. Just knock him out.
Is there something I should do? Should I breathe more? Breathe less?
Shut up before I shoot you on accident.
Okay, shutting up. I'm just gonna be quiet now, all right?
Thank you.
Should I tell you if anything changes with me?
I'm going to shoot you in the face.
Look over at Black Rabbit with just an irritated expression on my face. We have to deal with this guy. Because
is anyone moving to the passenger seat? Front passenger.
I want to boot the guy out and tell him to get in the front passenger seat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, he goes up there. As he closes the door, the massive gate, it's a mech gate, so it's meant to stop mechs from entering or leaving.
Right.
Begins to open, and once it's far enough open, you zoom through it.
Yeah.
At this point, you can see that even on the distant horizon in the city, that there is lines of smoke rising. And small explosions every once in a while, like every 20 or 30 seconds. You can see aerospace fighters are strafing the city.
Clan aerospace fighters.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, it looks like they're out of bombs, and maybe they're out of ammunition, because all you're seeing is a lot of laser fire.
What are they shooting at?
Hard to say from here.
How many of them are there?
There are 4 aerospace fighters, as far as you can tell. Maybe more. It's hard to tell, but at one point you see 4 of them in the sky at the same time.
How do our Gauss rifle?
It would be
Hornets. Are they Hornets?
I want you to imagine something moving multiple levels of Mach and trying to shoot that with a gun.
Well, that all depends on your targeting system, but yeah.
Your targeting system is your eyes.
Okay,
Mark zeros.
Negatory.
They're not automated anti-air systems.
Sid used to have cyber eyes, but I don't think I would give him a bonus to shooting aerospace fighters moving at full speed in a city environment.
You would want like an LBX.
Yeah. Hitting clan aerospace fighters moving at combat velocity. And just to be clear, like, parts of the city are getting heavily damaged by their overflights. Like, windows are blowing out, buildings are collapsing. Their proximity to the city is extremely dangerous to the people within it.
Sure.
But they are also actively attacking the city, so I guess it shouldn't be a surprise. At this point, there's like a small service turnoff road that the commandant turns down to get to your secluded landing area, and he says, "Now look, I don't know if you know this, McGurk, but we aren't going to be able to get out of here as long as those aerospace fighters are here."
Didn't I specifically choose this LZ because it would be the most likely to get us out of here?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the issue is that you can't take the VTOLs. because they'll just get shot at sky. Is what I'm understanding.
But what he says is, look, it's a good landing site, but we're gonna have to wait a few minutes, or however long it takes for them to leave. As he says this, another wave of artillery hits the base that you just left.
I mean, I assume he's not telling me anything I don't already know.
Correct.
Like, I don't know why this man is talking to me like I don't know what the fuck is going on.
You might remember that the two of you have had an antagonistic
so I'm
relationship
him.
ever since you got in an axe duel with him and lost.
It wasn't an axe duel.
It was just a fist fight.
Okay. But he won.
Yes.
I guess.
What do you mean you guess?
One.
I mean,
wow, you guys are really lowering the bar here.
If you count looking like a noble asshole winning, then yes, he won.
Wow.
Handily.
I'm gonna remember this next time you guys are like, we beat the Clanners. Like, I'm gonna be like,
of course you're gonna remember it.
Beat the Clanners.
You'll never let me forget.
Can't we equivocate? Let me meet you halfway. I would say that you enjoin the Clanners in combat.
I've what?
Wait,
enjoined.
Next time we say we beat the Clanners.
I mean,
what is victory, really?
We did beat him. I think that's unequivocal.
Black Rabbit, what happens
I don't have anything to say to this dude.
The guy in the front seat is like tilting his head back so he can see you. It's like his eyes are as far upside down as he can, and he's just going, should I be feeling cold? Is that bad?
Is it cold outside?
You're probably fine.
He goes, wait, probably? Like, what percentage is probably?
I look down at my gun, look at him, look down at my gun, look at Black Rabbit.
Mash, you said you wouldn't.
Down at my gun.
Is he threatening to kill me?
Look out the window.
You just see Bandito's face pointing at the guy, going, mouthing,
just
shoot longingly.
Him. Sad Scrubs music plays. With Harridan looking out the window.
He just goes, wait, I've been really useful, haven't I?
Do you know what makes you feel like the best after you've gotten hurt is being very quiet?
You know, you're the second person who said that to me today.
Yeah, it raises your chances of not getting shot by my friends.
I have never heard that before, but I will believe you. Wait, did you say your friends were gonna shoot me?
They probably won't.
What level of is probably? No, you know what? I'm done with this conversation. I can feel my blood pressure going
something
up.
Stronger. I mean, stronger.
Can I give you some pain meds?
The ass out.
I mean, you can give him pain meds, but it's gonna take a couple minutes for the bad boys to kick in.
It'll work.
Okay, you like hand him 2 pills, and he's like, "I don't have a bottle of water."
You just see Bandito's face pressed against the back window, pointing at the guy, mouthing, shoot him. Holding out a pistol.
At this point, all 4 aerospace fighters break off their attacks and darting west away from the capital. Even as this is happening, like, massive skyscrapers are just falling to the ground, and you're sure that in the process that, you know, like, thousands of people must be dying in the city. You get a emergency beacon from in the city from one of your 8 squad members that you sent in there.
Okay, I feel like I'm on the radio, just like screaming instructions and updates and sit reps and coordinates and trying to get all local forces to this LZ.
The person responding to you only speaks in broken English and Scottish, and constantly has a second person that shows up and is like, well, he's speaking Scottish. What he meant to say was...
I just cut over them. I feel like I need them to know what I'm saying more than I need to know what they're saying.
Understood.
I'm giving them timetables. I'm calling to the distress beacon that's going off, and I'm trying to get that guy the LZ grid coordinates.
Yeah, can you make a communications check for me real quick?
To use a radio?
This is to pick up on his emergency broadcast in the middle of a 3-way conversation.
Not great.
Alrighty. I believe you can use a radio. My only question is, can you use a radio in the middle of a planetary bombardment with a whatever, a noisy channel, I guess I would call it.
Well, he wouldn't be a very good soldier if he couldn't use the radio in a combat situation. What would be the point of using a radio?
Show me this with your dice.
There you go.
That's an 11 on the dice. So. What's your bonus?
1.
I mean, 12 is more than good enough. You hear somebody like trying to get in on the channel, but they're being crowded out by Team Scotland, and Howler occasionally cutting in.
Yeah,
but,
so I don't know what.
Yeah, you eventually clear him out
like,
and isolate his signal.
But I can send him like a simple text message too, basically on the radio.
Yeah, like he messages for you to switch to like a different secure frequency for one-on-one. He says, "This is Sergeant Major Van Zont, Coastline Paladin, only survivor of the forces left in the city. Currently using a stolen elemental battlesuit, requesting instructions."
Yeah, I give him the LZ coordinates and ask him what his estimated time of arrival is.
Yeah, he tries to do some quick math, but
I give him a minute to figure it out.
Yeah, I think I can be there in about 10 minutes. Lot of chaos between here and there.
All right, I'll tell him we'll hold position for as long as possible. Birds are inbound.
I'm looking for orders regarding hostiles in the city. Rules of engagement?
I would not engage.
Engage all hostile targets.
Understood.
Okay. Prioritize
no
egress. Yeah.
If it gets in your way, blow it up.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably already exposed now. So yeah.
I mean, he would know the rules of engagement are. I mean, you have to identify it as a hostile target first, right? It's not like.
But rather than try to remain stealthy, he's just going to go for maximum elemental bounce, and anytime he sees somebody shooting back at him, he's going to shoot.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Speed is the priority. Get here on time and kill whoever you have to kill to make that happen, or avoid whoever you have to avoid to make that happen. Doesn't matter. Just fucking get here.
As we see him bouncing back, we can see that he's got I believe you gave him a sniper rifle. Well, you gave his team a sniper rifle and an autocannon. Mm-hmm. They are childishly small strapped to his back, but they are there. One over each soldier.
Can we strap the autocannon to the turret spot?
Well, he's a ways away from us, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I'm also gonna radio the birds and let them know that we have a friendly elemental. And give them like his position so that if they, depending on their approach vector, they're tracking that. So that's not a friendly fire situation.
So over the someone starts speaking Scottish to you, and then someone just like, shut up, sir, shut up, sir. Warrant officer, I can break my craft off and pick him up between you and there.
Okay, I'll shoot him the frequency to contact that guy, right? To get picked up.
The two of them get in contact, and Longshot breaks his aircraft off to go meet him. But now you're only met with Scottish from here on out.
Right.
Fantastic.
I should have sent the Scottish guy. Is there someone who doesn't speak Scottish?
I mean, if there was, why would you want to talk to him? This guy's awesome.
I don't know, practical reasons.
You could really hear the love of his job really comes through in that gibberish that he's constantly hollering.
I don't know if he speaks anything other than Scottish.
I mean, he understands the human language of English, but yes.
He just doesn't want to speak it.
He speaks a very strongly accented English.
I make a mental note to order the Kenneth Cross guide to like Scottish vernacular whenever I get back to base so I can learn to speak this guy's language.
Well, he's a Northwind Highlander who decided to become a tank gunner and then left the Northwind. He
speaks like straight Gaelic.
Yeah, he speaks like authentic.
All right,
Scottish Gaelic.
All right, then I order Kenneth Cross's guide to extinct languages.
It's a video series.
It's not extinct.
So you have a former member of the Northwind Highlanders in your group.
Yeah, there's a specific video for it.
I was going to say there's a whole planet called Northwind where they natively speak Scottish Gaelic.
Okay, all right. Well.
We've come to the
look. This isn't Latin. It's not a dead language.
Ooh.
I'll tell you what's a dead language. Ancient Sumerian. Ancient Chandalian.
Any language that starts with the word ancient is probably on its way out the door.
People will speak
likely,
ancient Greek poorly.
Poorly for funsies.
Black Rabbit speaks Greek.
It's all Gaelic to me.
Nice.
After a few minutes, 3 yellow jackets arrive in triangle formation, and you can see that the pilot is putting the lead craft is putting themselves down so that they can do the dramatic, get on, and somebody's hanging out the gunner bay door over top of the massive Gauss rifle that builds the whole body of this craft, and he's like, "Come on!"
Yeah, I'll be the last one to get on.
All right, so I got to tell you, the person who is in front of you is your scientist gas, Bonesman.
I was gonna say I'll take the scientist guy with me.
All right, the whole time he's running, he's completely winded. He's definitely going into shock, and he's injured. So you have to like prop this guy up as he's running. He's just like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this." You have to he can't pull himself up into the craft, so you have to get his legs up there, like stuffing a kid at the top of a jungle gym.
He cut his arm. What's his problem?
I thought it was the glass that just jarred it right through his arm.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, but she patched him up. He's not even bleeding anymore.
He's a hypochondriac.
Okay.
He's a wussy scientist.
He's a big puss. I got it.
He's a wussy scientist guy.
Look, come on. If this was Tropic
last.
Thunder, this guy would fit in the cast, 100%.
Okay, I got it. He's Jack Black. I get it. He's an athletic, flexible, chubby guy. I understand.
No. This guy is, he's like thin as a rail, basically dead.
So he's
Beansprout is probably his call sign among the scientist cast.
He's the guy that voices Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon.
He's probably like James Franco.
Yeah. There you go.
You get everybody inside the yellow jacket, and as soon as it takes off, the internal microphone begins playing bagpipe music as the 3 yellow jackets begin heading away. And the pilot, begins loudly proclaiming his heritage in Scottish Gaelic, leading back to old Northwind on Terra. Probably in a translation in English, she's saying "Sir, we've never had a chance to talk correctly. I just wanted to inform you about my heritage. Now, you see, my pa's a right proper Northern Highlander." Prepare for 15 minutes of that.
I look down at my gun.
Probably the door gunner is just like, "Sir, you're gonna want to secure that weapon. We're gonna be moving pretty fast." You can see he buckles himself into the back seat and is like, "You really should buckle in, sir."
Glancing up and down between my gun and the speaker.
And will take the gun away. We need to fly, sir. Think about that later.
So as you're handing the gun over, he kicks the thing up to 80 miles an hour, going up and forward at the same time, and all of you are like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, in VTOL fashion.
Yeah. The 3 aircraft begin flying back. At some point, someone spots a boar, and of course they shoot it and then go, "Let's take it back to base," like Black Hawk Down. But we'll skip over that instance. Because I don't want to do this is my trigger. Fucking hate that guy so much.
This is the only safety I need.
Oh my god. Sorry, I'm just reminding how much I hate that guy. And everyone who does that with guns.
This is the only safety I need.
As you're flying back, you just notice every 30 seconds or so, there's a streak going in the sky over top of the aircraft. As your artillery are still firing, no one's told them to stop, so
let's see if I can get a hold of
I'll let them have a few more volleys. We got plenty of ammo for those guys. Right?
I think we should probably stop in case they hit something else.
I mean, they had the coordinates of the beacon.
That's still shooting 1/8 of a planet away, or what was it, 1/10?
Yeah, it's 10 minutes at 80 miles an hour, so whatever that accounts to.
Enemies or not, that city has children and innocent people in it.
Yeah, they're not shooting at the city, just to be clear. They're shooting
But
at
they are shooting bombs that could potentially hit somebody. Also, I don't think she knows exactly what they're hitting at if they're going to continue hitting the same spot.
Okay. Let's have this conversation.
I will get in contact with Pavlo.
Okay. He just goes, "Sir, it's me, Major Pavel Redzik, call-sign Russian. Is artillery fire accurate? You have not called in after enabling my beacon."
It was pretty accurate. Still needs a little bit of tweaking.
What kind of tweaking?
I don't know. We can discuss that later. You can stop lobbing the things now.
Oh, you're ready to recover beacon?
No. You kind of, that beacon's probably gone by now.
I'm joking. Obviously, artillery beacon not recoverable. Come on. Think about this for a second, sir. I'm joking with you.
That's what I was thinking about. I didn't.
See, I knew it was like old days. You are still stupid.
How do you recover something that is the focus for?
It's designed, yeah.
See, it is so hard making fun of you, sir. But now I have opportunity to do so again. I am very thankful to Vodka for getting me this far.
Right. Worked well.
I am confirming that we have ceased engagement operations.
Yes.
I really like that guy.
He's okay.
He's the best.
I think he's funny.
Thank you, Heavy Seven. I appreciate what you say.
Just turn off the comms.
Now, Bandito, you have to remember,
the...
you're in a position of authority now. You need to be able to deal with subordinates in a bit more of a kindly fashion.
Says Harridan, who was just staring at his gun.
You said that, and not going to commit with the metaphor else that came up in my head.
At this point, you get a call. It's Mech 2 aircraft, and somebody is just like, "Sir, requesting permission to head out into the city and engage enemy forces. This is Torch."
Who the fuck's Torch?
Where is Torch located?
Torch is
Where
like,
are you at?
all of the mechs are at the dropships. He's like, I'm at the dropship, sir. You know, I really feel like I would be better able to engage infantry if I was able to swap my build to all ER small lasers.
You can stop that. Stop that right now.
Someone take his laser. Someone take his.
When this happens,
microwave.
like 4 people are just like, "Shut up!" Somebody's just like, "In the name of Blake."
Who said that?
Who said that?
Harbinger is just like, "That was me. You got a problem with it?"
Oh no, I was just curious who said that. Didn't recognize you right away.
Who are you needing to engage? What's the situation?
Off communications. They turn to someone next to them and they're just like, "Gonna get another one of those courtesy sessions for how to deal with Blakeists."
So off
religious sensitivity training. It's a real shame.
Based off zooming past it in a Humvee, what kind of complement of mechs did we see?
So you only saw the upper deck of mechs, and it's hard to tell how many different decks there were. The mechs that you saw arrayed out were 3 Koshis and 2 Arctic cheetahs. Oh no, sorry, that's wrong. Stormcrow, Mongrel, Ice Ferret, Viper, and a Inner Sphere Raven.
Those are all like mediums and lights, right?
Correct.
Okay. I don't see any current tactical advantage in deploying our mechs in a fight at this point in the city.
No, I think they just need to be just hop in and get ready.
Yeah, just deploy them in like a defensive screen.
Yep. Because if they're able to return their favor in kind, they will.
Well, the minute we step foot in that city to engage them, we assume liability for all the damages that are happening.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds like a guy who's read his articles.
so we don't want to. Now we don't
want to do that.
We have largely evacuated the city, have we not? Wasn't that like a whole plot line that we engaged in?
Okay, so the city that they're talking about going to is the capital city, and you have been evacuating people from your city to the capital.
To it, yeah. We don't want any part of this. So our guys are way back in the other city, and they want to like march over here and start a fight.
Yes.
No.
No,
I think they're wanting to try and end it, but
Well, this guy's just an idiot anyway. He doesn't know that we're artillerying the shit out of their mech bay right now.
We don't know the disposition of the rest of their forces.
Yeah, they don't have any idea.
Know if they think it's us doing this, so they might try and drop the hammer on our base, thinking that we're away.
They can probably figure out where the artillery was coming from.
There's really only one place in the whole planet that has artillery, since clans really don't use it.
Have any of their mechs made it out into the city? Like I thought we were.
You have no idea. You're away from the city now.
Yeah.
Why did we stop blowing them up prematurely? Do we believe that the bay has been
yes.
I guess we were
shooting
them
did
for over
order
10
them
minutes.
to stop shooting. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they need to resume, and I say this out loud in character. They need to resume fire if that bay is not destroyed.
I never wanted them to stop firing. I believe I said that.
We were shooting over artillery for over 10 minutes.
I mean, at this point, Pavel comes on the communications and he's like, "Sir, I was given direct orders by Bandito to cease firing."
Again, 10 minutes. There's something that's still able to get out of there.
How many volleys have been fired?
While they're having that conversation, I'm on the radio
20?
to one of the Hornets to have them
20?
break off and go get visual confirmation of target destruction.
Yeah, the back left Hornet will peel off and starts heading towards the city.
I feel like everybody else is doing the usual like Command Lance fucking Benny Hill song, and like McGurk is like at work, like this is what he does. So he's like 100% on the comms, on the radios, talking to the door gunner, talking to the pilot, like everything everybody else is doing around him is static right now.
Russian, make sure your vehicles do not stand down yet in case we need you to resume firing. We are verifying destruction to target now. Stand by.
Understood. You can see that he's got the cap off of a bottle of vodka, and he sadly, slowly screws it back on.
Spinning it back on like his index finger.
One of the other men in the tank bay with him, a single tear begins to roll down his eye.
Takes his hat out, puts it over his heart.
As he begins lifting a very large ammunition and begins loading it into the barrel. For some reason, I guess they don't have modern auto-loading technicians. I like the idea that they have to manually load the thing.
Yeah.
At this point, I think you can see the spaceport, you can see the dropships. The hover APCs that are used to carry the long toms, they all began reattaching themselves to the long toms so that if they need to turn or move anywhere, they'll be able to quickly move them and then detach so that they can start firing. All 4 of your Aero 4 catapult are active and like awaiting orders, but they're not firing at anything because they don't have a tag lock. Other than that, your Mechwarriors are at various levels, either getting in their mechs and moving them or preparing to get in their mechs. When you don't actually touch the ground, like he stops and hovers it several inches above the ground, so that you have to step down and then like, do the oh no, it's a hover aircraft, like oh my head will get chopped off by the blades.
Messed up.
I'd like to get in contact with our mech bay, or mech quarters. Tell them to start warming up
the last time you spoke to your mech tech was to order him to follow Black Rabbit around and let her do whatever she wants.
Well, just keep an eye on her. Was that
So he gets back and he's like, yes, sir. What do you need?
Get our mechs warmed up.
We already did.
Okay, thank you. Just making sure.
Okay. Do you need anything else, sir?
No, that'll be all.
Oakley dokley.
Okay, just hang it up now.
Seems like a nice guy. Did we get word back from the VTOL that?
No, it hasn't been. I mean, you just arrived. They have to fly all the way back there and then, like hang out. I mean, the mission you sent them on is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah,
they are a long-range attack vehicle, and you're sending them to go like look down a hole that mechs were about to pop out of, assuming it hasn't been destroyed. So
I mean,
they're
to be fair, I would have done all this like long before we were out of the city. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I get that the conversation progressed in such a way that we were like almost home before, but like this all would have been within the first 60 seconds of pickup. Like,
understood. I'm gonna make a roll to see what he sees. I'm not gonna show chat the roll, but you guys will be able to see it. Oh, pretty good. By the time you're getting to your mechs, you get a call back from that pilot, and they say, "Sir, this is Smokescreen. I got a quick visual. I'm sending you the data that I got," and like he sends back 3 different shots of like mechs beginning to pour out of the mech bay. The mech bay has barely been injured, but like the top area is a total mess. But the mech bay has been reinforced to survive exactly these kind of attacks. The issue that the mechs are having is the whole outside area is cratered, and mechs are like exiting the mech bay and immediately being like, fall forward. Like, so they're all on their knees
resume
or firing.
yeah, if they're struggling, fucking fire for effect. Repeat.
I mean, when that happens, Smokescreen is just like, I am vacating the combat operation areas.
Yeah, you want to get out of there.
No, if there's no current air threat, he needs to stay in the vicinity.
All right. I mean, he starts hanging out there.
I mean, he can get out of the
he can get out of mech range
path of out of mech range and out of the angle path of the shelling. But yeah, he needs to be able.
Now, if there's an aerospace threat, then yes, he should split.
I think that's the issue: is the aerospace threat.
So the mech threat that he's facing right now are 2 Timberwolves flanking a Mad Dog.
But he can be out of their effective range and be in an observation point, can't he?
He can spot them from an effective range, but for him to engage them requires him to be in Gauss rifle.
I'm not asking him to.
We're not asking engage. Just
all right. Yeah, he backs off way out of their LRM range. As one of the Timberwolves like finally gets itself back on its feet and is like lumbering out of a hole, making its way down the next one towards the turret wall, like a artillery round strikes it in the arm and the arm just shears off. Yeah, like the Smokescreen is just like, "Sir, I can keep this visual line open here for a little while longer. I'm not sure how long they're going to let me hang out up here."
See if there's any way you can be able to verbally help focus the effective fire for the long toms.
Understood, sir.
Sir, I'd like to tell you that they're about a quarter of the way. They're about as accurate as they could probably get.
Yeah, I just patched the Hornet into the Russians so they have a spotter on site, and tell him, hey, just manage your risk and stay as long as you can.
Yep, these 2 groups are already trained to do this. The vehicle the vehicle company is actually pretty good at what they do.
Yeah.
So this guy doesn't have like a tag, but he does have a modern military, sensor package. So, he does paint a more accurate picture so that the artillery can walk their fire on target. Now with the travel time, of course, they're never actually going to be able to like perfectly nail a mech, but they can surround it with a huge amount of fire.
Right. I'm more concerned with the facility itself, to be honest with you. I don't want these mechs to have a home to return to.
Okay.
I mean, if the mechs get damaged in the process, then
that's
better,
a pro. Yeah,
100%. They're at best secondary targets.
That's a secondary objective. Yeah.
I just figured 10 minutes of waiting for the VTOLs to get here would have been enough, but I guess not.
No, I don't think that was an unreasonable assumption to think that it had been destroyed, but I'm glad that we verbalized we want confirmation of that destruction.
Yeah, like Russian gets back to you and just gives you like it's going to take several hours of bombardment to take out the mech bay at the rate they're going. Like you have plenty of ammunition. Your unit has specifically prioritized ammunition. What he's asking for is permission to use the Aero Force.
We don't have tag for that.
That's correct. You're going to have to send a tag equipped mech out there.
Yeah, let's not do that.
I mean, they've already got mechs walking around. That would be a dicey prospect at best.
He still asks anyway, even if you say no.
Yeah.
If we're sending mechs in there, we might as well send all of them. But
No, just have him do max damage, right? With what he's currently doing.
They just keep dropping high explosive.
Right? I mean, based on the report that he's getting from the Hornet, right? We have a measure of effectiveness.
Yep.
And if we can estimate, rendering this facility inoperable, then let's just do that with minimum resources.
At least make a big enough.
It'd be better if the long tom shells were capable of doing more than 4 damage.
No, it's a support weapon, so it's only 3 damage.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So except for the 2 targets instead of 1.
Yeah.
So now if we had a handgun there, much better.
Yeah.
Slob handgun.
Now we're talking.
Pistol rounds. Although if they were SRMs, they would do more damage, though.
So by the end of the first 30 minutes of bombardment, Smokescreen reports that the inner sphere Raven that was in their mech bay has been destroyed, but 14 clan mechs exited the area during the bombardment.
Any clue as to what direction they went?
Yes, they went towards the capital, so they moved directly south into the capital.
Okay.
He's just gonna hang out here, like for several more hours, like all night long, basically, waiting for the bombardment to finally break into the interior of the mech bay. At some point after an hour, he's just like, "Sir, what the fuck is that?" And he swivels his gun camera to like a super smoke jaguar that has climbed on top of other super smoke jaguars, launched itself into the air, and is running through the bombardment area at like 90 miles an hour.
What if the door locked?
Kill those fast.
Like, there's no way the artillery's gonna hit this thing. It's just running around the whole area looking for people who are semi-alive during the bombardment and like consuming them.
Yeah, that's a problem for another day.
Yeah, that sounds like a clanner problem to me.
You just lob those at the other ones that are just lob those into the other ones that are still in the wall.
At this point, all of you are either in your mechs or at a command station or wherever you want to be for the duration of this crisis. But over the next several hours, there will not be a clan retaliation attack. And it's not clear what is going on with the clan factional fighting, since they have been confirmed to be shooting each other.
Wait, the clans are shooting each other?
Yeah, I mean, clan aerospace bombers bomb their own base.
So what we have here
and
is
the Omni fighters were attacking the city, which was, a clan city.
So we have
the issue is that
the
they don't
brainwash
have...
versus the non-brainwash. Is that what's happening?
It's not clear.
Okay.
There definitely is confusion in the leadership, essentially.
Good.
Since
let's let that play out for as long as possible.
Mm-hmm.
We killed the one guy who could have been leader, and then killed the other guy that could have been leader.
We need to go into.
We should see what we can do to use the chaos that is ensuing right now to potentially open up some supply lines and get some food to the people in the city.
Well, our city's empty, right?
I mean, you don't evacuate 18 million people in several days.
Empty, but
yes, you have
it's not a food
resupplied
crisis anymore, I would assume.
For like 4 more days with rationing, you'll be able to hold out. It's an ongoing process. The clan aerospace fighter threat has really made that process quite onerous.
So we need to try to find somewhere else to...
I'm glad you said that.
I think we need to go hunt some smoked jaguars.
I'm so glad you said that.
They're big enough that they could supply a lot of food for a while.
You know what's great is I didn't even have to manipulate anybody into that conclusion. You just came to it before I had a bunch of NPCs be like, "Sir, we're out of food. If only there was a whole bunch of protein lying around." So good. Thank you, Pondo. I really appreciate you. Like, I didn't even have to T-ball this. You just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Is our assumption that all of them are going to escape?
I think there's already that have been let out that we can hunt.
Yeah, I'm toying with the idea of shifting fire and blowing up the wall and letting them all out so that the clan has even more to deal with.
I think the issue is we do that, they get out, they start killing civilians.
Yeah, I don't know that. I think that's secondary concern. Based on our mission here, our mission was never to come save these people.
But I don't think we're also, can just say, hey, screw it.
Well, we are under direct orders of no clanner left alive.
I mean, it's not no clanner left alive.
Do I need to show you the contract again?
Let me be clear. Your orders are not no clanner left alive. Your orders are to destroy the warrior caste of the Smoke Jaguars.
I seem to recall the conversation with good Prince Victor.
Yes, it was specifically about the clan warrior caste. Now
Well,
look,
see,
it's
he
not
wasn't
like people are
specific
saying
enough.
treat.
Sir, it's in the contract.
No one is saying treat
Backpage.
the clan like military industrial complex as if they're, untouchable and super godly people, but like they are still civilians.
Sometimes if you want to bake a cake, you have to break a few eggs.
Yeah, let's not break the few eggs. More than we've already done.
So, I mean, when you say that, Harridan, you notice that your boy, Captain Haller, is nodding along like, yes, sir, I agree. We need to stop messing around with these clanners and show them a taste of inner sphere justice.
I don't think letting out the Smoke Jaguars would be doing that.
I mean, they should have to deal with a problem they created. Why is it up to us to clean that up?
Because we'll have to clean it up later.
Not our planet, not our problem.
I thought we were coming here to save the people of this planet.
Haller does not know how to respond to that. He looks to Harridan to counteract that.
We are actually supposed to be helping, trying to make us,
Is that in the contract too?
As I recall, sir, I believe our contract is to hold the clan military reserve forces here. We seem to be doing a pretty good job. Doesn't seem to be much clan military reserve forces left.
We're also here to represent the Star League, which letting out a whole bunch of Smoke Jaguars is not representing the Star League.
The Smoke Jaguars eat people.
Prove it was us.
They're gonna eat the innocent people of the planet.
Sir, we're the only ones on planet with artillery.
Prove it was us.
Sir, we're the only ones on this planet that have artillery.
We're not the only ones on the planet with Gauss rifles. I say we let Smokescreen put a few holes in a wall somewhere.
We're not doing that.
Yeah, like someone nearby is like, sir, last time I checked, these are Draconis Combine civilians.
Yes.
They're not even Lyrans.
They're technically Star League civilians.
Like, yeah, this is an argument that's
civilians. There's
definitely a tension spreading across the command room between people who believe in the Star League and people who are just like, we're a mercenary company. This is what we do.
So out of character, our unit was specifically selected for this mission on purpose because of our general disregard for the law of war.
Correct.
And the Star League sent us here because they knew we prioritize mission success over collateral damage.
Also correct.
They intended for us to come here and make a mess of everything and not give a fuck.
Well, I mean, the thing about mercenaries is you could just say it's not our fault. Look at those wild money warriors. Those private, what do they call now? PMCs? Those private military contractors? What can we do about them?
That being said, I think probably to most people's surprise, Butch McGurk is going to say she's right.
Wow, like Hallaby is just like, what? He actually says what?
Look, we've all lost a lot of people in this conflict. And I didn't come back into this life for more people to be lost than have already been. I'm here to make sure the right people die and the wrong people don't. And to me, that's more important than the bottom line.
Very well.
We've already got
don't do it.
Killed.
All right, Heavy 7, can I have you make a leadership check? Seems like you don't need to make one against Murder 6. Sounds like he's been leadershiped, but I'm curious about the rest of the
I would like
card.
to assist.
What do you say to assist?
I assisted with what I said before.
Essentially, I would like to say that we are not the clanners. We do not need to go to these extremes like they have.
How much
For us
XP did
to
we
set
get for
an
the
example.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
4
Sorry,
from last
we got
time?
4 last time. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. That's my bad.
Yeah.
That was rude.
It is time for us to set an example to show that we're not like them. We still have to wean these people back to the new way of living, not the survival of the best.
When you say that, Bandito, Lieutenant Ashram Ritter, your legal officer, is like, speaking of, I'll need to speak with you later, Major, in my office.
About what?
Why are you so
About
defensive,
what?
Major?
I don't know.
It's
Whenever you
routine.
say you need to speak with me, it's always something bad, and I have to watch some video for about 4 hours.
He pulls out a clipboard and a pen and says, "Is there something you need to tell me, Major?"
I don't know. I just assumed when you asked for me that there's something.
He starts marking things on the piece of paper
Okay.
with a disappointed look. I'll need to see you in my office as soon as possible, Major.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready to make my roll now that I've
You
spent
have
some
2
XP.
+1s, or one should say +2, from Black Rabbit and Bandito.
I will have it known that Butch McGurk now has a charisma of 4. He is far and away
Wow.
the most convincing person in the entire
Did
land.
you just shove that all up?
Wow.
He already had 3. I just upped it to
Oh,
4.
okay.
Wow.
He's never been an uncharismatic person.
This is true. This is very true. And
So
that's fantastic.
10 plus 5 is
Look,
15.
could you guys stop rolling good tonight? It's really bumming
No.
me out.
It's really bumming me out.
So
Well, if
no
you have a charisma
one,
4, you have a +2. That'd be a 16.
no one speaks against you, and you think that you've either convinced several individuals, or the ones who would argue know better than to voice an argument now.
Even a win isn't a win with Arthur.
What?
Everything's caveated.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Here's what I meant to say, Rad. Everyone instantly believes you.
Everyone agrees with you 100%.
You change the hearts of everyone you speak to automatically, and they all agree with you 100%. My
That's
Start
apologies.
doing a slow clap.
My apologies for
Apology
giving
rejected.
away realistic.
They'll put
Answer.
one knee on a table and say, "Oh, Captain, my Captain."
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
I'd jump up on the desk in a Dead Poet Society situation and change all of their lives. No, I'm good with that. I was just teasing you. That's 100% fine. Yep. Okay.
Is there anything between now and Bandito going to Ashram Ritter's office?
No, I don't think so.
I'll tell you that generally I'm going to, so if it's, did we agree that we're going to go hunt a jaguar? Is that what I'm?
I have no
Essentially,
idea.
yeah.
That
I don't know. I mean, that was something Bandito brought up. I don't know that that's been agreed upon.
That's
I mean, if they're still in their pen, then we have to go back over to where that base
there's
is.
some
and
that are
there's
not
a
in their
bunch
pen.
of
Is
them.
the
There's
thing.
one that went into the area that
I mean, they
I'm
just
guessing
figured
is
out
the
how-
area where
Like,
all the clan mechs went to.
Yes.
There's also some
and
that are not in the pen.
The front door has been left open, so that smoke jaguar can
Oh.
escape into the general planetary population.
That's fine. It doesn't need to be a scene, but I'm gonna go find Billy and talk to him about what, if anything, can be done on the fly for making the mech
Jaguar killing?
a more effective animal killer.
I mean, listen, that conversation goes like this. He is standing somewhere in the mech bay, and someone lowers sunglasses onto his face, and he's just like, nothing can be done. These mechs are already melee masters. You will make hash of any large cat. It slices, it dices, it delivers photonic energy, okay?
thinking like a
normally Butch
mech-sized
McGurk would just walk off mid-sentence, but it's been kind of a rough operation. So I think he's mostly just happy to see Billy. So he'll just humor him and go, yeah.
Yeah, Billy goes, deal with it. And then he turns and walks away, but the line that the sunglasses are on yanks, and so the glasses get ripped off his face.
He's like,
He's like, we gotta work on this, guys. We gotta work on it. We can't meme at this low of a level. Mech-sized chainsaws do exist. I mean, I don't know what you want to call a chainsaw compared to a king crab punching 3 times in a round with laser fists. So, I mean, I can't, I don't know what to tell you, man.
I'm interested in a mech-sized chainsaw.
Of course you are.
But it'll only do 4 damage.
Can't wait for Cotton to do a lumber mech. Those are real popular when they moved over to the Hero Clicks version for Dark Ages. Well,
Agromechs?
no, specifically the lumberjack version of them.
Oh, the lumberjacks.
They were called the lumberjack, and they're literally just giant chainsaw arms and like a log lifting arm. Yeah, it's a chainsword, 100%. Created for the Jihad in 3076, a combat reoriented militia mech version was kept into production. It gets a fusion engine, 11 heat sinks, pair of LRM-15 launchers, large lasers, 2 medium lasers, an advanced fire control system, and a choppy arm.
And a choppy arm.
With real live action, kung fu action.
And they get jump jets.
I think Black Rabbit will send a message to Harridan, McGurk, and Bandito asking if they're busy.
Bandito is like 10 seconds away from going into another legal meeting.
Harridan picks up a giant thing of papers, sees the message. Oh, thank God. God, no, I'm not busy.
I think Bandito sees the message, takes immediately turn away from the office.
You hear someone go, "Is someone there? Is that you, Bandito?"
He gets like the shepherd's crook, come and catch him by the neck and pull him back.
I mean, if you don't say anything, he's just like, must be the wind.
He's not gonna say anything.
Okay, the 4 of you meet up. Where are you?
I don't know, Black Rabbit.
Black Rabbit.
I think she sent the message from a room and was just waiting for someone to reply.
Everybody shows up outside your room.
We're like, no,
Fair
we're
enough.
not busy.
She'll let them in. Wow, I expected maybe one of you to come. I didn't expect all 3 of you.
He gave me a great excuse not to go to the legal room.
You'd like me to leave?
Yeah, you don't even have any snacks ready. Jesus.
I mean, you can stay if you want. You don't have to.
He's like, no, it's fine. He pulls a hot dog out of his pocket.
I was going to talk to you guys about something that's completely off the record.
All right.
So knowing that...
Hold on. Just turns off his phone.
Right, you're the kind of crazy person that keeps a conspiracy
Records everything all the time.
You have to agree that everything that's said in this room stays in this room before you walk through the door.
If you're a cop, you have to tell me.
I'm gonna have you legally have to tell me.
I should just let them decide if they want to walk in or not after that.
I'll walk in and...
I think 3 of us try to walk in all at the same time, just bump into each other. Do that for about a couple times for one of us just goes.
Okay, Monty Python.
Let's hear it.
I might have done something a while ago that's fairly illegal, and I'm feeling pretty guilty about it.
I want to tell you what happens, Black Rabbit. There's like a wall-length mirror, and when you look into the mirror, you can see that Ronan is sitting next to you nodding. Please proceed.
I might.
You realize you're saying this to the person who was brought up on trial for war crimes. Yes.
That he didn't do all of those, from what I understood.
Oh,
And that was happening in a war, and this might have something to do with that was not war related at all. So I don't have an excuse.
Just go. Get it out of there.
I murdered somebody.
Okay.
Classic.
And it wasn't during combat.
Okay.
I might have broke my Hippocratic Oath because they were on my operating table. And it wasn't an accident.
Who'd you
But
kill?
all the paperwork says it's an accident.
I only have one question. Did they deserve it?
I'm not the person who should be able to make that call.
Who'd you kill?
But you are the person who made that call. So you must have thought that they deserved it. Whether you should have or not, you made a call. And your call was, they deserve to die.
The problem with that call is it's something that I regret now.
I understand.
Who did you kill?
I bet you can guess.
McGurk totally doesn't care who it was. It could have been anybody.
No, I
killed Damien. I killed my ex-fiance.
Oh, that guy? Oh, he deserved it.
The point is that I shouldn't have done that, and that it was illegal, and I could get arrested for it if people find out about it. But all the paperwork says it's fine, and I feel pretty guilty about it because I took a life when I was supposed to be saving a life.
What were the reasons behind you deciding to do this? I mean, I know he did some terrible things to you, but this man himself was a murderer and a traitor of sorts, wasn't he? Yes?
Yes.
Well, he well, I remember.
Wished you harm at the time as well, if I recall, yes?
This was sometime after that.
But still, he did organize an ambush to attempt to kill you, yes?
That's correct.
So he had already made an attempt on your life. He himself has killed people previously, and to my mind, he still presented a clear and present danger to your continued existence, something that I would prefer you did continue existing. So I can understand your moral conundrum here. Means, doctors take certain oaths. It doesn't matter who a person is or what they've done when they're under your care. That should be forgotten. But under those circumstances, you would be potentially in a position of saving a person's life only to later have them kill you. And quite frankly, I'm perfectly fine with this arrangement. Like I said, he wished you harm.
Plus,
He didn't strike me as the type of person who would have stopped.
he killed your family and everything, and I understand.
The point is I went up against all of the teachings that I told Ronan, all of my own morals, my own doctor's oath.
I don't see this as murder, though. I see it more as preemptive self-defense.
No, this was definitely murder.
It was definitely murder. Listen, I know murder. Okay.
I know murder too. It was definitely murder.
I think Black Rabbit looks a little bit sadder when they both agree.
I just look at them like,
what the fuck, guys? Trying to do something here.
When you see red, it can be a fickle thing. You do things quickly you don't do.
Why are you telling us this?
You look in the mirror and you see Ronan nodding back.
You feel guilty. So then you're hoping by telling us this that you're going to receive some sort of judgment. We're going to judge you, and it's going to vindicate your guilt.
I'm telling you guys this because I need help.
Okay.
Ronan is still nodding like, good.
I have been having nightmares that may have been affecting my work. Some not while I'm sleeping.
This explains a lot.
Have you brought this up to your counselor that we all know you've been seeing?
That was a muted no.
Yeah, but we heard it. We heard it in our hearts.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you've told us, because we are all in your corner. Whether you did something terrible for the right reasons or the wrong reasons or any reason at all, we're all here to support you. But none of us are professional healthcare specialists. So
Technically, I am.
well, but you know that that's irrelevant when it's your own mental health. So the way I'm going to support you is I'm going to support you in opening up to the mental health care professional that you need to be talking to about this. That's the person that's really going to help you. And if you need somebody to hold your hand to do that, then we're all here to do that.
Do you want me to go to a mental health care professional and admit that I committed murder?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
And I think
You can't lie.
I think deep down that's what you want to do, is you want to be able to tell somebody.
You've been holding on to this, obviously. You've been afraid to tell anyone. You've been afraid to disclose it. I've been apparently afraid to mute my damn phone.
It's terrifying.
But you're not going to work through this. You're not going to be able to heal the damage this has caused by holding it in. The only thing it's going to do is to make things worse. I appreciate you telling us, and I'm glad that you did. It has not lowered my estimation of you in the least, but I agree with Heavy 7.
It's not a secret around here in this company that I've done a lot of terrible things in my life. Some to people who deserved it, and some to people who probably didn't. I haven't ever claimed to be a good person.
As you say that, there's like a ghostly image of Billy that appears twice, like one on each side of the screen.
Yeah. One's like, "You're a saint," and the other one's like, "You're the worst." That being said, I'm twice your age, and I've had to reconcile these things for my entire life. And they've left scars that will never heal. And it's also no secret in this company that I'm a marginally emotionally stable, functioning individual. And I don't want to see you end up the same way.
I would like to let you know that if I report this to a professional, there's a high chance I will go to jail.
What if you do?
How? There is no legal authority.
Because I admitted to committing murder.
Two whole star nations away.
I don't think the counselor will do that. If she did, there's not much they could do to act about that.
Also, considering the mountain of extenuating circumstances and the man's own attempts on your life, I don't see very
murder
much
is still murder.
There are always going, especially in situations like these, there's always going to be mitigating circumstances, and there is a mountain of them here.
Well, look, the commander's not trying to convince you to rationalize away what you did. What he's saying is, we don't have any way of knowing what the repercussions would be if you were to open up to a counselor. The only consequence that we are sure of is that they'll be able to provide you help. Now, maybe there will be other consequences, but we can't gauge that right now in any meaningful way. All we can do is focus fire on the target that's ahead of us. And right now, that's your mental, emotional well-being. And as supportive as all of us will always be, as much as this company will be here for you whenever you need it, we're not equipped with the tools to directly help you with the wound you have caused yourself. we can't heal it, but we can help you get to the right person that can help you. And you will have to live with the consequences of that. And going to jail or being assigned any kind of emotional rehabilitation is your least concern, because your greatest challenge will be living with what you've done. And I speak from personal experience, both in and out of character.
Captain Jack Sparrow's dad shows up and is like, "It's not about living forever, Jackie. It's about living with yourself forever."
That's right. That's exactly right. It's not about what anyone else is going to make you do. It's about how you're going to see yourself for the rest of your life.
If you want to talk to us, we'll be here to talk to you. But again, it would be better to go take professional help. It helped me marginally. I could be.
It didn't help you at all.
Oh, it didn't help me paranoia. It helped me with the acceptance part.
At this
things
point,
you live with.
At this point, your phone bings, Bandito. Oh no, you turned it off. Never mind. Let me know when you turn it back on.
I mean, it'd be after this meeting.
Sure.
And
well, we're all staring at each other. For my bad for breaking up the mood there, guys.
Trying to catch up on chat. I'm sorry. I feel like, I don't know. I've talked enough. I feel like McGurk has got his point across.
You want to schedule a session with your therapist?
We will be here for you every step of the way, of course. We're not saying that you cannot talk to us. In fact, I think we'd all prefer that you did talk to us as much as you need to. We'll be here for you. But I do highly recommend that you speak to the therapist as well.
You're all just standing around awkwardly in the room now.
Please get out of my room.
Yeah, no, I leave. I feel like McGurk probably leaves after he said what he said. Like, I don't think he wants to. This is a personal can of worms for him. And I feel like it was probably really tough for him to get out the words that he got out. So he's pretty shaken. And when he said his piece and made his point, he excuses himself from the room.
I think after me and Bandito leave the room and the door closes, I just say sidelong to him, say, "There's no way in hell I'm going to allow that woman to go to jail for killing that bastard."
Season 5. Herodin versus the law.
Let her make that decision whether she wants to go or not.
That's the difficulty when it comes to law enforcement getting involved in a murder. It's not her decision at all.
Yes, but we can get lawyers that will help her get into something minimum like what I was put into.
Well, you also have to remember right now there is no legal authority on this planet excepting us.
And granted, I don't think here would care at all, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Just allow us to admit it first, which is the hardest task.
One of the two. Right. Didn't you have a meeting?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I don't know. I guess you should start asking, what didn't I do? I opened my mouth. That's what it did. All right, I want to go do that. I hate every second of it.
Well, have fun. I'll be doing paperwork. You know how much I enjoy that. So we can all be miserable together, just in different locations.
Yeah, but I'm going to have to watch a Ken the Cross video to be miserable.
As you say that, you turn your phone back on, and you are getting so many bings from a poster of the first issue of the Kenneth Cross Jr. offshoot, like split episode where it releases his backstory. And I want to say that Kenneth Cross Jr. looks like a combination of Bandito and Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie where he's a young gunslinger who was like, I'm the greatest in the whole world. No one could keep up with me. I don't remember what the movie was called, but
I have
What was that?
so
movie?
many questions.
okay.
All of them with anger.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Who was the bad guy in that?
I mean,
played
his
the bad
father
guy?
was the bad guy in that. The Quick and the Dead was the movie.
Yeah, what was the
Gene
his
Hackman.
name? Gene Hackman. That's who it was.
He has to go up against his own father.
I'm going to message the head of the HR department
Yes.
and schedule a meeting for tomorrow.
Okay.
If that doesn't
You
And I'll go to my
you don't
stupid-
really have an HR department and an ongoing. You have a legal department. Which
I mean, the
legal
the
department
HR
is quick note for everyone at home. HR is the inward facing legal department. They're not happy fun people there to help you get paper clips. They're there to sue the shit and stop any liability from happening. So you message Lieutenant it
I'm
reaches Ashram Ritter.
messaging the people who are doing the comic, the ones that we hired,
Okay, yeah, they're
That are
members of your
acting-
unit.
acting as our star league, as get people to like us better people,
Yep.
and scheduling a meeting for tomorrow.
Yep. Okay. They're glad to see you, and they want to know your thoughts on the recent issue, since it's so popular. Character has been incredibly well received. Just a reminder, these people have not been up on Intersphere News for the last 9 years, so they don't know that Kenneth Cross is dead yet, for the most part.
Yeah.
They think Kenneth Cross Jr. is the best character ever. They also don't know that you killed him, so... Gonna be some deep conflict there. What do you do next?
I guess I go to the stupid legal guy.
All right. As you open the door, he says, sit down, Major.
Yes.
When we began this mission, it didn't seem necessary to inform you of several protocols because it was unlikely that we would end up in the situation that we are in. However, Command has notified me that there is a fairly good chance that we will be able to pacify this planet by ourselves.
Interesting.
We're very good at what we do, apparently.
Yes.
Major, you and the Colonel need to be making plans, you specifically, since you'll be doing the grunt work, of what to do about familial units once the planet has been retaken.
Oh, okay.
I see you haven't thought this one through. The clans assign genetically compatible couples within a caste system. And of
I
course,
noticed.
the children born out... Well, then allow me to cut to the end. When this planet has been liberated, what is the status of those marriages and those children? He gestures for his door and is like, when you have the answer, please return to me. Thank you for your time,
Okay.
Major.
I think Benito is going to message Harrigan and is like, yeah, we got to talk about something that
We gotta
didn't
talk
really
about
come
the
to
birds and the
thought,
bees, sir. We gotta talk about babies.
essentially.
Just you and me,
Whenever
sir,
you
privately.
have free time.
Candlelight dinner tonight?
We have to discuss the familiars, the families.
One-on-one?
Man,
Your
it's-
cabin or mine?
Very
Making
well
this
in
weird.
my office.
Yeah. There you go. The legal officer just brought up an interesting point that I don't think that we thought about. Since the way the clans, how they run the whole families and everything, how are we going to handle that? My guess is to let them stay at the families they are if they're okay with it.
think the more poignant factor is what happens to the children for those that do not wish to remain together.
Yeah. My guess.
Look through our roster. Do we have any sort of anyone in our unit trained in psychology or anything like that would be able to make some form of helpful determination on the likelihood of that?
I mean, Dr. Assman is technically qualified for this. In terms of like actual qualifications, he's also a dumbass. You know, Selena Lockwood, MD, did do a psychology residency. You know, one semester, got the course credits in.
I won't call her up or go to her quarters or anything, but I will shoot her an internal email laying out the situation and ask her to put some thought to it.
On whether the family should stay together or not?
Yeah. Like if they do not wish to remain together, what would reasonable options be in terms of the children and the like?
If they don't want to keep their kids?
Yeah.
I would suggest they find make a group home and start giving up for adoption for couples that want kids, or people that want kids that couldn't have them. Adoption is an option.
I'll shoot that back over to Bandito and the legal department, and with a writer, with a question mark government funded facilities question mark.
Would also need to have like some kind of counselor at the adoption center to help the kids understand and process what happened to their lives and what they're going to go through now. You know, that's going to be a big change for kids.
Oh, wow.
I'll include all of that.
Chat just got spicy. I mean, I love how people are saying hundreds of minors. I think at this point we're more talking about hundreds of thousands of minors.
Yeah.
We're talking about life-changing decisions for massive families. Let me ask you a question. What do you do if one person in the pair still wants to remain married and another doesn't?
They play rock, paper, scissors, see who wins.
Well, that's very clan of you. Thank you.
Well, technically, if they both wish to remain together, then they shouldn't remain together.
He's asking what would they do if one wants to stay together and the other one doesn't.
Yes, but that's also that's what Sid answered.
That's basically, that's so a lot of times that's what happens with a divorce normally.
Yes. But you're looking at
a person just does not want to be with the other person anymore.
Just to be clear, you're looking at this on like a massive planetary scale with theoretically, like no one has come out and said this is the numbers, but theoretically everyone on the planet could be applicable to this.
As far as couples are concerned, I don't really care. It's more those that have had children.
Yes, exactly. I mean, sure. I mean, you could be looking at the necessity of suddenly ballooning, dozens of orphanages across the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, now that I've dropped that little spicy ethics question in here, just to ruin everybody's fun.
Easier call. Bomb. Massive bomb. There we go.
Nuclear weapons.
Wouldn't have so many problems. Let's let some smoke jaguars loose on the city, okay? That's all I'm saying.
You know what they say? The number of social situations you can solve with a fireball.
Yeah, exactly.
Increases.
100%.
Increases as the size of the fireball increases. We'll be back for... I don't think it's going to be a full-length second half. It seems like we're about to pivot here. I just don't know where everybody's ready to go to. We'll be back. Stick around, I guess, or don't. I'm not in charge. I mean, I'm in charge of the stream, but I'm not in charge of you. Am I in charge of the stream? That's pretty questionable.